So a client's telling me the story about how he had booked a meeting with a prospect who had reached out to him to ask for his help. And the prospect was in a different time zone, so they had to kind of figure out scheduling. In any case, they've got some time on the calendar. And when the time comes, a few minutes before the scheduled appointment, my client gets a message from this prospect saying, hey, really sorry, can't make it, gotta run for this other thing, some personal commitment. Didn't really seem all that important. Now, my client is upset, very upset. And while I'm talking to him, he's visibly upset, visibly agitated, just recalling the memory of this happening. And he said it was rude, it was disrespectful, what should I do? Should I just let this guy go? Should I forget about him? Should I tell him to take a hike? This, that, and the other, right? Visibly upset. And I said, look, let's just reflect on one thing first. How would you have reacted to this if it happened to you a year ago? Or even 6 months ago, even 3 months ago? And he goes, well, I would have just taken it. I would have just let it happen. I would have followed up and said, no worries, Mr. Client, we can reschedule at your convenience. And I would have just taken that for what it is and not let it bother me, and I would have moved on. And I said, well, let's first of all take a moment to celebrate the growth here, because it's good that you're upset. You should be upset when somebody disrespects your time. What that tells me is that you now see yourself as more valuable than you did before. You now place a higher value on yourself and your expertise and your time than you did before. Because before, you would have bent to the prospect's will and probably bent to the client's will if they became a client. You'd have done whatever they told you to do. If they need to reschedule, no problem, let's reschedule. If they need to change a deliverable or change the scope of the project, no problem. If they want to negotiate your fees, no problem. We can work on the fees. That was his posture before, right? But now that he has more confidence in himself, now that he has placed a higher value on his skills and on his expertise, he's not taking that anymore. Okay, he's not going to bend at the client's will. He's not going to do whatever the client wants. He's not going to be the order taker that they're looking for. He is the preeminent, sought after, specialized expert that they need. So when they don't show up for a meeting or when they cancel at the last second, he's upset because his time is valuable. And he says to me in this conversation that, look, this mindset stuff has been crazy. Honestly, I had no idea that mindset and the way that I think about myself and I think about my expertise was so important. Can you give me more tactics? Like, what else can I do to really create scarcity and make them feel like, that I'm specialized and they need me? And I said, look, it's really not about the tactics. In the end, it's about the mindset. It's about the way that you view yourself. If we can really fix the way that you view yourself so that you place a higher value on your expertise and your services and your worth, then the tactics will follow. And what I said to him was, look, I want you to engage with prospects from the place of the business owner that you want to be. So let's say, for example, your goal is to build a 7-figure consulting business. And let's say right now you're making $100,000 a year. Well, when you engage with prospects and when you do marketing and when you do sales and when you have conversations and when you do all of these things, you need to do them from the place of the 7-figure consulting business owner. You've got to show up the way a 7-figure consulting business owner would show up. You've got to have that posture. You've got to have that attitude. You got to have that approach. Okay? And that's going to show people then that, you know what? This guy or girl, he's pretty serious. He's pretty accomplished. He's done some incredible things. He's got this posture, this preeminence about him that I just don't see from other people. So you've got to step into those shoes. You got to become that person in order to have the results of that person. But it all begins up here. It all begins up here. So 80% of success is the way that you see yourself. If you see yourself as valuable, if you see your time as valuable, your expertise as valuable, then clients and prospects will see it that way too. If you don't value yourself or your time or your expertise or your work or your services or any of those things, clients won't either. That's just how it works.